At 79, Sylvester Stallone, the action icon who gave the world Rocky and Rambo, stands as one of Hollywood's most enduring figures. Yet behind the muscle, fame, and blockbuster success lies a life story that is heartbreaking in ways many fans could never imagine. Because Stallone's journey has been as much about personal tragedy and private pain as it has been about cinematic triumph. Born with complications during delivery that left the lower side of his face partially paralyzed, giving him the slurred speech and crooked smile that would later become his trademarks. Stallone grew up enduring ridicule and rejection, fighting from the very beginning to prove that he belonged, and though he clawed his way to superstardom by writing and starring in Rocky, a film that mirrored his own struggles as an underdog, the realities of his personal life were far darker than the Hollywood dream he portrayed on screen. He battled through financial ruin before fame, selling his dog for survival only to later buy it back when success came, a reminder of how close he was to losing everything. And even as the millions rolled in and his name became synonymous with toughness, Stallone was confronted with heartbreak that money and fame could never erase. His marriage struggles were splashed across tabloids, and though he eventually found lasting companionship with his wife Jennifer Flavin, it came only after years of very public ups and downs. But the greatest tragedies of all were deeply personal, most painfully. The death of his son Sage Stallone in 2012 at just 36 years old, a loss that shattered him in ways he still struggles to talk about, as well as the lifelong challenges of his daughter Sophia's heart condition, which required multiple surgeries and left him balancing the demands of being a global superstar with the fragile reality of being a worried father. Friends close to Stallone describe a man who is far more sensitive than his action hero image suggests, someone who has carried guilt, grief, and insecurities despite his larger-than-life persona, and as he entered his late 70s, Stallone himself admitted in interviews that he has regrets about lost time, broken relationships, and the toll his career took on his family. Though fans remember him charging up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art or battling enemies on the silver screen, the reality is that Stallone's toughest fights have always been off-camera, where fame could not shield him from heartbreak, loss, or the relentless passage of time. At 79, his tragedy is not simply about growing older in an industry obsessed with youth, nor is it only about the loved ones he has lost, but about the haunting contrast between the indestructible heroes he played and the very human fragility he has lived. A reminder that even the toughest warriors cannot fight off grief or mortality forever. Yet, even in tragedy, Stallone's story remains one of resilience, as he continues to work to create and to share his truth with audiences who see not just the fighter from Rocky, but the man behind it all. Scarred, battered, and yet still standing.